Ecclesiastes 5:1, which says, "Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. Go near to listen rather than to offer the sacrifice of fools, who do not know that they do wrong." It might seem a bit perplexing at first glance, especially to those who have never been to Jerusalem or set foot in the temple of God as it existed in the time of King Solomon. There might be some who argue that the church they attend is the house of God. However, strictly speaking, a church is not the house of God. Even the synagogue, where Jesus used to attend with his parents every Sabbath, is not the house of God. So, where exactly is the house of God in Christian belief? In a spiritual sense, the house of God can refer to the tabernacle, the holy temple, synagogues, churches, and other places of worship. These are places where believers draw close to God, symbolizing God's presence among his people. The New Testament particularly points out, "Do you not know that you are a temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him, for God's temple is holy, and you are that temple." It appears then that every true believer in God is a temple of God. So why does it say, "To draw near to listen is better than to offer the sacrifice of fools who do not know that they are doing evil"? It's quite simple to understand when you consider visiting a person of high status and great wealth. You'd want to bring a gift, but what can you buy that they would value? The same goes for worshiping God in his temple. God is the creator of all, the ruler of all. What sacrifice could you offer that he would value? The world is his. What does he want? The answer is your heart. The scriptures say, "Does the Lord delight in thousands of rams or 10,000 rivers of oil? What does he require of you?" The sacrifices God desires are a broken spirit. "O God, a broken and contrite heart you will not despise." It also says, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice." God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in spirit and truth. Therefore, what God values most is not sacrifice, not service, but people drawing near to listen to his word, to obey his will. As the prophet Samuel said, "Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams." Let's use the act of gifting as an analogy. Firstly, the gift must be something the recipient can accept, something they like or dislike, and it must be given at the right time for the right reasons. It should be given to make the recipient happy, not out of obligation or thoughtlessly, as that could upset them. Likewise, a person who is adept at offering sacrifices to God must first understand God's nature, his preferences, and what he values. They must strive to please God. The verse shared today says, "The sacrifice of the foolish, they do not know that they are doing evil." Why? Because they do not understand God's will. They offer whatever they like, which essentially becomes arbitrary and reckless. To summarize, the house of God in Christian belief is not confined to physical structures but extends to the believer's heart. True worship is not about what we want to offer, but about aligning our hearts with God's will and bringing him joy.